No, it'd just be me and a couple of boys.
Yo, what's the deal, YouTube? We're back, episode 3, the Still Slippin' podcast. It's me, OYG Lalo, my man Paula Jones. Now this episode, man,
What's
we've been waiting for this episode, man. It's gonna be the topic of off brands, right? Like, what is the off brand? So I'm gonna let Jones tell y'all guys about what an off brand is in the GTA street gang community.
Well, I'm not sure why you're asking me to explain, but I'll try my best. Why we talk about off brands. The ballers in Grove Street, they talk about off brands. They talk about off brand sets. So I don't know what they mean by it, but my interpretation of it is an off brand is not an official set. So you saw in episode 2 we had the official sets. An off-brand would be not one of those, but it's a little bit deeper than that, because an off-brand can become it can't. There's certain levels to off-brand. If you look at it like a pyramid, then you've got at the top is someone who's close to an official but still an off-brand, and then at the bottom of the pyramid is an off-brand, a big off-brand, like totally off-brand, whatever.
Like Jamestown Rancher gang, somebody like that, right?
So say the pyramid's got like say 5 levels. I would personally put Jamestown in the middle at level 3, and because at least they're still named after a street in Los Santos, so that's a little bit of credibility at least. Whereas say the bottom of the pyramid would be a crew that's totally unrelated to Los Santos, like IGN for example. Because I mean, if you're in an IGN crew, you know, you've got no intention to fight in a street wars, whereas Jamestown, by calling themselves Jamestown, would have their intention is to fight maybe other street gangs. You know, yeah, they didn't shoot guns much. They used to use RPGs and stuff.
Okay, let me jump in. All right, so see, my view on off brands and fams, we never really used that term. We just, it was like, I don't know, non-factors, I guess, but you had, I don't know, we just never tossed the off-brand word around. But I would say for me, off-brand is basically anybody that's not the official sets we listed in episode 2. Even my own crew, I made DFG. In my mind, DFG is off-brand because it's not Rockstar created. Anything that's not Rockstar created to me is off-brand, whether it's DFG or Jamestown or whoever. It's all off-brand sets because you're not following. You can't claim a turf because you don't have designated turf in the Los Santos area. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I look at an off-brand as, and that includes the video game. The laptop bloods and the keyboard crips. You know what I'm saying? They all off-brands. Even though they are IRL games, I mean that's goofy in itself. But yeah, that's what I think the Offbrand is.
Off-brand, it's more of a diss than a label for anyone, because there's certain levels to off-brand. I mean, yeah, it's more diss.
So let me ask you, how do the off brands affect the SGC then?
Well, the more off-brand you are, the less likely you are to abide by street codes. You know, wearing a certain color, shooting pistols instead of laser beams, driving lowriders with your crew colors. Just the basic codes that we all agree on. So someone who's an off-brand would, the closer you are to official set, the more you know about the street codes, and the further away you are from, the more off-brand you are, the less likely you are to play legit, basically. So that's why the ballers try to distance ourselves from off-brands, because we didn't want to encourage them. They can just play in their own off-brand world and shoot rockets at each other and get in insurgents, blow each other up, running over. I want to say about running people over. That's legit SGC tactic.
No, it ain't, man. No, it ain't, man.
What you got to remember is this is Grand Theft Auto, man. The car is one of the best weapons.
Well, you intentionally hit somebody with your car. That's not street gang, bro. I'm sorry, John. I gotta disagree with you on that
one. I didn't get annoyed, man, because when people used to do that to me, I did it a little bit myself, but when people did it to me, I didn't get annoyed, because I realized I shouldn't be in the middle of the street, running down the middle of the street, shooting at people anyway. That's not realistic.
People drive into the sidewalk just to hit you.
I think that's funny, man. I love the ragdoll physics when you go flying through the air.
It's funny when you get blown up too.
Yeah, but that's almost like terrorism, isn't it?
You're a V-bed, huh? You know what a V-bed is?
A what?
When they driving the vehicles with the explosives on them, that's almost like getting ran over, man. Somebody come speeding into you.
Yeah, I've seen that tactic. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff going on. I mean, Rico, he used to, when he would do his corner shooting with you, he would drop a sticky bomb on the wall that he was standing behind, and if you hit him a couple times, he'd blow himself up with that sticky bomb, like.
But see, he wasn't in no off-brand crew though, too. So you said street gang rules. A lot of the street gangs don't even follow street gang rules. They play just like the off-brands. Yeah. Rockets, sticky bombs by your feet, grenades and all of that, blowing yourself up, running away mid-fight, killing yourself. All the, official ballers and fams did the same shit.
Well, that's being influenced. They've been influenced by off-brands, because from the very beginning, people like E and Trap Money, they try to set out the rules. I don't like to call it rules, because nobody likes to be told what to do. I prefer to call it codes, street codes that you don't want to have to explain to people every time you fight them. And so we used to try and put it out there, like write it on walls and stuff. These are the quote unquote rules. Like, I mean, we even had one rule where you weren't allowed to shoot at the opposition in daylight, stuff like that.
That's interesting, man, because I mean, the street gang community already had rules from like PlayStation, and it was basically ARs only. That was the only rule, that you needed to use an AR or a pistol, or like you use like a Tech 9 or something. Street guns, and that was the official rules from like PS3, Xbox 360.
Well,
But
I don't
just
understand why
no,
the
nobody
shotgun
used
wasn't
the S.
allowed, or
Yeah, the shotgun was used, but it was
the
only
shot.
like the pump one. The auto shotgun was the only one. That's it's kind of like a noob. That's a noob weapon. You get easy kills. It's just as deadly as a rocket, and you don't take no skill to use that. You just point it straight, and you're gonna hit and kill whoever's in front of you
All
without
right,
actually being on
should we get
target,
back?
right? But
Yeah,
no,
I think that's a conversation for another day, man. I don't want to get too far away from off-brand, but I think there was a lot of discussion about if you're going to allow ARs, you've got to allow the pump shot, the auto shotty as well. And I don't think that dispute was ever solved. I think people still used auto shotty in that. I think we all used auto shotty. I think the AR only is a TDM rule. I don't think that's a street gang rule necessarily. I
how
think
you
that was what
figure?
the TDM crews wanted to make the lobby wars only ARs, and that's them trying to bring their TDM rules into lobby war. And a lot of the lobby war gangs, they wanted to keep it a bit more realistic, like have pistols, shotguns, assault rifles. They wanted all of that in there, not just ARs. And because they didn't do a lot of TDMs, so there would be a disadvantage if it was AR only. And I was kind of in that mindset as well. But I think that's a different topic for a different discussion for another topic. I don't
Yeah,
think.
we can bring that up later, but yeah, we'll stick to that. We'll stay on top of the man of our friends. But the SGC
Do
been
you want me
around
to?
from the beginning. That's 2013. You know what I'm saying? So those rules were in place before the people you name even got in the field, man.
So as for that off-brand pyramid, right? I'm just going to run through that and explain it. So let's say you got at the top of the pyramid. The least off-brand is Del Perro Ballers, because they're named after an official gang, which is Ballers, and they're named after an official street or place in Los Angeles, Del Perro, man. A lot of people fought over that territory. And then on the second level of the pyramid, you got, say, only the families. Now, they're named after an official gang, families, so they're not totally off-brand, but they're still slightly off-brand because it's not an official family crew. Then level 3, you've got your likes of Jamestown and Mirror Park Bloods. So Mirror Park Bloods, they're named after Mirror Park, so they got a little bit of legitimacy, but they're also named after a real-life gang, so that's off-brand. At level 4, you got Rolling 60 Crips and stuff like that. Nothing to do with GTA at all. It's just a real life gang. And then the bottom is Zali. So I wanted to explain also why I didn't agree with fighting against real life gangs. I'm not saying they were real life gangsters. I'm saying their crews were named after real life gangs. Now, we've always refused to 1527 has always refused to engage these crews, even though they came after us all the time. And it was never explained exactly why. I know you Lalo, you refused to engage real life gangs, didn't you?
I to an extent, because like I said, there was a time where ballers kind of disappeared a little bit, and so you had to fight somebody. But I do agree with not fighting them and entertaining them, though.
Well, I'll explain what my theory is why it's not a good idea. I'll tell you a little story. I pulled up on a guy in Chamberlain Hills. He was wearing red. I didn't know who it was, and I shot him. This is about 5 years ago. Killed him, whatever. Made a video about it, uploaded it, and the video went viral. It had like 500 views in about a week or something, and I was like, damn, this is crazy. Like, so I checked out the guy's crew who I killed, and it was a crew called 54 Van Ness Gangsters. Now, I'd never heard of them. Have you heard of them?
I know about the real Van Ness, but I don't know about GTA Van Ness.
Okay, so this was, I'd never heard of 54 Van Ness, which is apparently a real life blood crew. And
You
so
call him a parody?
when I googled when I googled it and I
Laptop
saw
boy.
his real life crew, yeah, I'm like, shit, it's got so many views because people recognize the name of a real life gang. And then like I was thinking, okay, and then about a week later it had another 300 views, so it was on 800 views. And I thought, I'm taking this down, so I took them down because I don't want to put on YouTube I'm killing Bloods or I'm killing Crips, man, because I could get into, I won't get into, possibly won't, because I'm in UK, we don't have them here, but it's not a good idea to brag about killing real life crews, because one, you could get into trouble with that crew, and two, you're glorifying gang violence, which is not good. Really, I don't believe in it. I know a lot of rap music glorifies it, but I'm not a rapper.
Mm. Yeah, I don't really agree with the whole internet video game bangers, whether it's console or PC or whatever. I try to stay away from it, bro. It's pretty goofy, man. But a lot of people went to it. But the SGC, as far as the street gang community, man, I feel like it just need to be GTA games, point blank, period. And I know all the off brands get mad because you won't fight them. And I remember that. Like, there was a crew called Sewell Nation that we used to beef with on PS3 and PS4. And then you had, what's his name?
What were they called?
You had Sypho, man. Shout out to Dark.
What
He
was
was
his
around
crew
for a long
called?
time. Who, Sypho?
Yeah.
I mean, he had
They were
multiple.
called,
There was like Dark Soul Nation or something like that. But he had multiple crews, though.
yeah, that was it. Dark Soul Nation, that was it. He had a lot, yeah. They changed it up, a similar name, didn't they?
I mean, they changed it to a few different things over the years. But I mean, he was like, I would say, yeah, he was an off-brand, but he was like a main rival to Families and Ballers. I mean, so, but it really was no point of like uploading them or nothing, because for my standpoint, like, nobody cared about an off-brand crew.
Yeah.
I will say I made an exception. Yeah, I made an exception, and then we had and like try to be biased, right? There was Curbside Brotherhood. You remember Curbside? Nigel.
Yeah, Nigel Farigi.
Right. So my whole stance was, if you wasn't family, man, we wasn't trying to ally with you or nothing like that. That's always been my stance. Families only. I was never for all these alliances of outsiders. I made the exception for Curbside because other fams was already cool with them, and then I think they were cool with somebody else. And then the point when it came up was families had just finished doing a war. We had an internal wars like Davis versus Form and Chamberlain or something like that. And so it was, for me, it was just like, man, these dudes are off brand, but if we don't ally with them, it's gonna be I just didn't want to create no more conflict. Like, we just ended a beef. That was like 2015 when we met up with Curbside, and in the end I ended up beefing with Curbside anyway, but that was the only exception I ever made for like alliances. And then enemies, I would say respected enemy was an off-brand crew.
Who?
And that was Mirror Park Serenos. And I say they was my most respected because we never had to do any like the goofy back and forth conversation on Social Club or none of that. And we get in a session, they knew what it was, I knew what it was, and we shoot it out, man. And so I ended up earning their respect, they ended up earning mine, even though they was an off-brand, and I fought them. I enjoyed fighting them because they kind of filled the void of Aztecas, man. Aztecas really, with them both being Hispanic gangs, Aztecas never really, I don't think Aztecas had any effect on the SGC this entire time, man. don't know. I don't know if they just stayed in auto aim or what, but they really wasn't a factor in the street gang community.
Yeah, the
But
Serenos, I remember they were quite a bit big at one point, and they were.
yeah, they were
I
deep.
think. Yeah, they were. They're probably the biggest Latino gang that were around on the PS4. Bigger than any Vago. Probably, yeah, bigger than the Vagos. They were all over Social Club, man. They used to chat a lot on Social Club, like beefing with people. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we had a few little conversations with them or back and forth, but for me, it was just mainly they kept it in the lobby basically. For me, my experience. So.
my personal opinion on off-brands has changed. I don't consider Farm, Vago, Azteca, or Marabunta as off-brand anymore, because I realise there's only 3 official baller gangs, and there's a lot of people who want to be ballers. So and a few of them want to run their own crew, and so if you've only got 3 official ballers, there's not many, so you want to make your own crew, and you're going to call it Dave's Avenue Ballers or whatever. So as long as you're staying with the brand, which is purple, yellow, green, teal, blue, then I think that's still part of the brand, which is just SGC, or that Rockstar created. And so, I mean, originally I would call some baller gangs off-brand if they weren't official, but that was just to diss them, put them down, or whatever. They were dissing us for whatever reason. But over time, I realised that any family set is not really off-brand, because they're trying to stick with the brand, but they haven't been accepted into all the gangs because they want to live their own family gang or whatever.
Yeah, I still stand on my. If you're not official, you're off-brand, bro. But everybody have their own opinion, man. Let us know in the comments, man, how y'all feel about that off-brand. You are off-brand? Do you agree? Just because you keep it family, because with the whole, I'm gonna create this random. Let's say I make. Let me see. If I make Rolling Heights families or something goofy like that, right? That's still off-brand to me. Even though you're taking a part of one gang and you mixing with another one, there's no such thing as Rolling Heights families. You know what I mean? And yeah, you're trying to be a family, but a lot of those crews, they don't stick around that long. They be here for like a little bit and then they disappear, bro. So with the official sets, people usually you can rotate members. The set is there to stay. It's permanent. Anybody can be Eastside Ballers. There's multiple ways you can make the crew. If you want to run your own Eastside Ballers, you can do that. Just because somebody else has it. No player made crew is official. So just because one person makes CGF, that don't mean you can't make CGF. Nobody can. You can't get 2 Rockstar sets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and if there's 2, like say CGF crews who are competing for the name, they've basically got to fight it out. And yeah, one might be older than the other, but at the end of the day, it's whoever drives the other CGF out of the turf, isn't it? It's a matter of numbers and firepower.
You would think they would be smart enough to hopefully I get the Davis homie to come on here, because I'll explain. Like I said, I had a Davis crew, Offbrand. He had a Davis crew, and we came together. All the Davis families, we ended up most of the time. It worked out to like, hey, I got my own Davis crew, boom, and we was cool with each other. We were never on that, you fake, let's fight, we got beef with y'all the fake version, Yeah. So, I mean, the other 2, I was kind of stuck in the middle, but we'll talk about that in another episode. But
the smart thing to do
with the CGF example
would be to
come together.
link up in it. Come. Yeah.
Yeah, but people can't do that, man. Egos, bro.
Yeah.
Everybody's fake at the end of the day. Nobody's really officially CGF or anything else, man. When you look at it on a grand scale, like it's a player made crew. So you're not, you know what I mean? The NPCs will shoot at you just like anybody else. Yeah, and another thing with off brands, man, they don't have turfs. They can't claim turfs, man. That's my opinion, bro. Like you have a crew. You know how many crews try to claim Chamberlain? Bunch, like a bunch of people try to claim Chamberlain.
Mm.
Same with Rancho. Yeah, everybody want to be in Rancho for some reason. But all these games not going. I mean, granted, real life, yeah, cities are bigger, but that's why I was like, man, you just keep the off brands away, bro, because they mess up the vibe, they mess up the videos. Like nobody care if you killing Jamestown Rancho gang, you know what I'm saying? Nobody care if you killing some keyboard Crips. You feel me? And like he said, people gonna look it up and like what's going on. But I think I've only had like two Crips in any of my videos, but like I said, I try to stay away from it. And then I think in the beginning, yeah, there was a point where ballers kind of died out. Yeah, the only people we could fight was the Dark Soul Nations or it was Suwu Nation back then. The blood version of Dark Souls Nation, all that shit, bro. And that's because they was all over the lobbies and there was no ballers to fight.
Yeah, it's the same if you get people who are online 24 hours shooting it out. There's obviously not going to be a rival gang online all the time. So you tend to expand out and fight against random crews and off brands and that. But then you just encouraging that, and you're expanding the street gang community, where what we need to be doing is concentrating it, because the more you expand it, the more random it gets. Whereas if you keep it tight knit, you can manage it better. You know, the community, you can manage it better, and you can communicate with each other better about if your members are lying on social club about scores, you can handle it, because you know what I'm saying.
Okay, let me ask you this: what do you think the current status of the SGC is right now? Are you in tune? I'm not in tune, so I don't know.
No, I think it's pretty quiet, to be honest. I think it's very fragmented, because you got still a lot of people on PS4. They're slowly over to PS5, but there's nothing. There doesn't seem to be a lot happening on PS5 at all. And
so, I would say, man, the positive thing about off brands, and like I said, my definition is that everybody is not official. So say like, but even there's one official game that could make it work. But so like when you talk about future GTA games, GTA 6 coming out, off brands can easily transition to GTA 6 and Vice City. What I mean by that, like a East Side Pain Gang or something like that. Jamestown Rancho wouldn't work because they use a city from Los Santos, but East Side Pain Gang, it'll be easier for off-brand crews to migrate their crew over to GTA 6 because they're unofficial. But I will say the only official crew that could do it would be Eastside Ballers. And that Eastside Ballers is like a basic gang name. Eastside, you can be the Eastside of anything. You know what I'm saying? So they would work, but everybody else, you kind of stuck in, it'd be crazy you claiming CGF or you claiming Covenant Avenue in Vice City, and there's no Covenant Avenue. You get what I'm saying? It's kind of like claiming Seville in GTA 5. There is no Seville. But
what if there's no ballers or families in GTA 6?
I mean, that doesn't. But even if they're not there, I feel like that would be better anyway, because then the player base could build that baller and family. Because there are, IRL gangs in that area that is based on for real. So the balls and fams could work, and I feel like it would be better because then you don't have the NPCs to like kill the vibe of where you claim turf at. But
yeah, I see what you're saying. It could work maybe.
Yeah.
If there's no gangs in GTA 6, then I guess so. I'm sure there will be.
It'll be up to the player base
in GTA 6.
The player base would have to fill that gang void, which that's gonna happen anyway. The same way people jump on GTA 5 trying to be caps lock hoovers and shit, you know. But yeah, man, this is wrapping up episode 3, the off-brand topics, man. I want to make sure we hit everything though before we head out though. Yeah, you went over the breakdown of the pyramids, man. Right? Yeah. Boom, that wraps up episode 3, off-brands. If you're off-brand or you disagree with being off-brand, let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, stay tuned for episode 4, man. We're gonna be bringing in our first guest. Be doing guest episodes. If you want to be a guest on the podcast, you want to come up here and talk your shit, man, come do that. Just tap in with myself, Baller Jones. Hit us up, PSN, Discord, whatever you got, man. Get in contact. You can even message down in the comments that you want to come on a podcast. You got to be on PS5 though. You got anything else to say, Jones?
Nah, I'm good.
I mean, you ain't gonna exit out for your baller team? Come on, Jones.
What do you want me to say? Nah.
All right, man.
Okay. Let me say something then. So at least one G on the future podcasts. I've reached out to a couple more, but I had no response. Probably because we had a lot of beef with them, and they probably think they're going to get this, and it's going to turn into a big argument or whatever. But we're going to everything is going to be in future on the future podcast is going to be strictly game related, law related. There's going to be no personal information or discussions or anything like that. So yeah, we'll just allow people to speak their piece. And
and that wraps it up, man. Stay in tune.